ladies and gentlemen. 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel, matter of fact, I want to read the 14th through the 17th verse of the 24th chapter of the 24th chapter. Amen. Amen. Bobby, Patrice, glad to have y'all again. Other visitors that are here with us, thank y'all for coming. I know that you could have made this day somewhere else, but I thank you for coming to be a part of Cornerstone Institution Baptist Church, where Jesus is real in our life right now. How many of you know that he's real? And how many of you tried him lately and you found him to be true? Amen. Ushers, you can go ahead and be seated. I'm ready to share the word on today. I want to share once again 2 Samuel, 2 Samuel, the 24th chapter, starting at the 14th verse. Let me read it to you as it marinates in your heart and your mind. And David said unto Gad, I am in a great strait. Let us fall now into the hands of the Lord, for his mercies are great, and let me not fall into the hand of man. So the Lord sent a pestilence upon Israel from the morning even to the time appointed. And there died of the people from Dan even to Bathsheba 70,000 men. And when the angel stretched out his hand upon Jerusalem to destroy it, the Lord repented him of the evil and said to the angel that destroyed the people, it is enough. Stay now thine hand. And the angel of the Lord was about the threshing hole of Araunah the Jebusite. And David spake unto the Lord when he saw the angel that smote the people, and said, Lo, I have sinned, I have done wickedly, but these sheep, what have I done? Let thine hand, I pray thee, be against me and against my father's house. I want to take something from that 16th verse where it says, in the very middle of it says, it is enough. I want to preach this morning sermon entitled, ladies and gentlemen, the message entitled, it is enough. If by chance this morning you really believe that, shake somebody's hand next to you and tell them it is enough. Amen. God bless you. God bless you. In the household of faith on the day it is enough. Oftentimes, what we buy ought not to be solely based on cost. In reality of the matter is much of what we buy happen to be a place of balance of what it costs versus what we can pay. And there are times certain things we need to purchase that is not based on what it costs. There are times if you want something bad enough, the cost does not make a difference. It ought to be based on what it is worth to you. And we need to know the difference between the cost of a thing and the value of a thing. And there are certain things that may cost a significant price, but it may yield a great harvest. We typically call that investment, where we take a certain amount of money and put it toward a particular goal or purpose that may produce more. I was just sharing at the church school session earlier this morning. There should always be a return on the investment when you purchase something. And sometimes that it becomes a very significant cost. As I shared, the cost is worth the value of what it is it will produce later in our life. Sometimes you pay a higher price, but you don't see how much it is worth until later. I discovered that cheap things, Lord, have very little reward. Any woman in here ever bought some cheap shoes and it squeezed your feet? I mean, they can look cute, but you're in a rush to get home to get them off. I must tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you get what you pay for. If it's cheap, you gonna get cheap. You can't get much value out of something that is cheap. It is to bring value when it costs something. Lord have mercy. I may be broke, but I don't never want to be cheap. Women, whatever you do, you might be broke, but you don't want nobody cheap. If you're cheap, you're going to squeeze the cop off a penny.
What you say? Say that.
It's so nice. I'm messing up already. It's dangerous to be around cheap folk.
Yes, it is.
Matter of fact, I got a problem being around herders of cheap folk.
I know that's right.
I can handle you when you're broke,
What you say?
but I can't handle you when you're cheap. If it's cheap, it's going to be a cheap reward. If it's cheap, you got cheap effects. If it's cheap, you got cheap responses. If it's cheap, it won't last long. You can't invest being cheap because if you want the great response, you can't be cheap investing, and because you won't get the response that you need. I just come to tell you, to share with you, I know you're on your way to another Black History program. I need to get out of your way. Ministry is just like that.
All right.
There are certain investments in your life that's like that. And what you put into the things of God does not compare to what you get out of it. And the things of God you can put in the temporary, but guess what? You'll get back the eternal.
All right.
The church is a vital relationship, and your relationship with God is so important and vital. Your walk with God is very vital, because what you do temporarily, you can yield some eternal returns. And I wish y'all stop singing that song, telling me I'm going to heaven anyhow. You may not. I'm sorry to disappoint you. You may not get to heaven anyhow. So such is the discipline that is discovered in the discourse of 2 Samuel chapter 24. David is now in full reign over Israel and Judah. And guess what happened? God turns around and selects him as king. He is not Israel's first king, but he is a man after God's own heart. He is the one that the people did not choose, but he is the one that God chose. And he is in the full office over God's people. And unfortunately, in this season of his reign, the people are walking in rebellion to God. One of the most dangerous group of folk to ever deal with is some rebellious folk. Can I get a witness? And they no longer wanted to honor God. They are not living for God through their lives and their lifestyle, and consequently, David gets to the point that he wanted to conduct a census. Well, the problem with that is, in conducting a census, and I know that the regular churchgoer would ask, and what's the problem with counting folk? How is that a problem? And the problem with conducting a consensus is you no longer depend on God, but you depend on the number of people you have. Lord have mercy. Let me find somebody here that had some money, but you had to depend on God. Let me get somebody that got a lot of friends, but you found out I got to depend on God. Anybody here got a lot of stuff in your house, but you found that you can't use that stuff without God? He conducted this census, and the census was unnecessary. Anytime you try to replace God, it's always unnecessary. And the reason why we try to replace God is because we think that we are in control. Anybody here ever found out I can't make it without it? And I found out too much about it. He conducted the census, and the census was unnecessary. And I want to tell you that it appeared that it was self-driven. All right. Yes. It was self-motivated. An act of egotism. In other words, his ego got in the way. Anybody here ever had some days where everything else wasn't a problem? I went the wrong direction. Let me do it this way. Anybody ever found out when you were your own problem? All right, since y'all acting all bougie and Germantownish, go and just bow your head. Let me know you in here. Because guess what? You know you've had some days when you really thought you was the stuff. Matter of fact, couldn't nobody tell you that you thought. You really thought that you was 3 snaps, and Lord, and a circle and some bags of chips. Guess what? You found out that guess what? You wasn't nothing. But God was not pleased with his choice. So God said, you ain't got time, this is too much history. You ain't got time to read this one. He sends Gad to David. And Gad happened to be David's prophetical counselor. To tell him that, David, I'm not pleased with you for the census because you didn't believe in me. He said, you caused the problem. Matter of fact, David, it's you that, I wish the deacon said, man. Thank y'all for me. You caused the problem because you made the folk become rebellious. Saints of God, you got to be careful of what you do in front of other folk. Sometimes you think it's everybody else when you are the problem. Lord, I wish I had some folk in here that'll look on the inside for at least just this moment. Yeah. Y'all ain't said amen on over here. Say amen. Thank God for being here. Gad tells him that the Lord said, David, I'm going to punish you. But I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to give you 3 options. I can tell y'all that read about it. Give you 3 options for your punishment. Y'all ought to be happy about David. He usually don't give us no option. We usually just get punished. He said, here, David, here are the 3 options. He said, I'm going to give you 3 years of being on the run and have oppression of your enemies chasing you. He said, or, I wish I had some computer programs. It's called the if-then statement. He said, I'm going to give you 3 months of being in famine. He said, I'm going to give you, Lord, 3 months and not having nothing. All right, y'all talking tonight. This crew over here ain't talked yet, man. Y'all didn't go to sleep that night, did you? He said, I got the 3rd option. I'm going to give you 3 days of pestilence. Lord have mercy. You being attacked for 3 days by pestilence. So David, y'all need to preach on that. Okay, come on. David responds to Gad and says, Gad, you go talk to God. Tell him, I'm going to throw myself at his mercy. And I'm going to plant myself into his hands. Lord have mercy. Oh, it's a pretty good thing when you plant yourself in God's hands. How many of you know that God can handle you better than folk can? Jackson, don't sit way back down. I'm ready to go home now. Lord have mercy. So, I'm going to put myself in your hands. Can I just pause there for a moment? I got some babies in here. You ought to thank God for mercy. Yes! Good God. When you deserve to be punished, God withheld your punishment. Come on in here and talk to me. It's been a whole lot of days. You should have been fired a long time ago on your job, but God let you keep it. Can I get a couple babies in here? Just the holler mercy. And mercy will suit your case. You ever been broken, couldn't pay the bill, but mercy showed up at the clinic office. Good God, from anybody know about mercy showing up in the hospital room. All right, y'all got this summer next year. I can tell y'all got that do not disturb. He says, I'm going to throw myself in your hand. You know something, Patricia? I used to hate to hear mama say, I ain't bothering you. I'm going to leave you. I wish y'all could. I'm going to leave you in the hand of the Lord. By that time, I'm saying, please leave me with an auntie, leave me with an uncle, leave me at the church, leave me in kindergarten, leave me wherever you leave me, but don't leave. I must tell you, God whipped real good.
Yes, he does. Oh, yes, he does.
Will it, won't it? No, I've been to school. He said, I'm not going to pick my punishment. David said, I want the Lord to pick my punishment. And I want to lie in his mercy. That's really good. And all of us have done something God is not pleased with. And because of his holiness, he has to come against our sin. As bad as it's been, it is possible that God can let you go through some worse stuff than you already been through. Thanks be to God. He covers his punishment with his mercy. Because God got a knack of knowing how to deal with his children. And anybody here ever had some children that they acted bad at least once? I thought I'd peek around the corner. And you knew they really deserved to be
Beat down.
matter of fact, what they were doing looked like a beat down. Oh, y'all kidding me? It just looked like a beat down, but guess what? Ain't it strange how they play on the altars? The altars of your heart. Look at you, come on. I ain't getting them out of jail. Look, you back in your car out the driveway. Tell me I'm going to get him one more time. I'm going down there and put some on the books. if you're going to get punished, at least you ought to get punished for being a child of God. Not if somebody is out of the will of God. Lord, whatever thing you gonna do, just be merciful. Matter of fact, God, look at David, tell me that's the option. Tell me that's the option. Age is sure make a difference. Since y'all quiet, let me say, anybody here ever bought some lessons?
Have mercy, Lord, have mercy.
Some of y'all paying the bill from them now. So he picks 3 days of pestilence. And the numerical responses from the census that was taken from the children of Israel, there were 800,000 taken in a census just from Israel, and 500,000 was taken from Judah. Ends up being 1.3 million folk. David had a large kingdom. And in 3 days, 7,000 people died out of 1.3. That's a whole lot of folks died. When you cross over to verse 15 and 16,